guys, welcome back to my channel. If you watched my last video, it's been about a month since I have done a video. I'm really sorry for that. As you've seen in the title, this is about my birthing experience. If you've watched the other video, you're probably thinking, what? It's only June. How could you have your baby by now? Well, it turns out that life never goes as expected. And, as of last month, obviously, it's been a month, I had my son. And it turned out to be an emergency. So let's go from the beginning. And I also have some items here that I want to show you guys that I've got a couple of items off of, I think it was AliExpress. I didn't really check, but anyway, one of those, awesome sites that I love doing stuff from, which I want to get back into. I've also got an outfit that my sister brought me for my son. And then there's some that I've also brought as well that I will show as well. So what happened from the last video that I posted, if you haven't seen that, go find it. It's there. It's called I have news plus items, and the news was me telling you that I was pregnant, hence why I hadn't done any videos previously before that one. Just because I was dealing with everything, and also I didn't buy anything online for a long time since I originally found out that I was pregnant. So what happened as of, actually from today, what happened as of 5 weeks ago, I had my son. So before that, I was experiencing some pain down below. I rang up to go see my doctor to find out if she could see what was wrong. And she said to me, look, if it's not serious or, you're not in real bad pain to the point of, anything really wrong, come in and see me. If it's that bad and you're unable to bear with it, then I suggest you go see your midwife. So I went down to my local hospital, went and seen my midwife, and they asked me the symptoms, what was wrong. I told them I had pain. I felt like the only way I knew how to explain it, which sounds horrible, was it felt like somebody had kicked me in the VJ. So it was quite painful, sore. It hurt when I went to the toilet. So they said, okay, we're going to do a UTI test to see if you have a urine infection. I said, okay, no worries. So we did that. That came back positive. So that was on the 16th of May. So then they did that came back and they said, okay, we're going to put you on antibiotics, go home, take them antibiotics for 6 days, and if you still have problems, come back. So went home, took the antibiotic, and that was fine. The next day I went to go to the toilet, had the pain, and then as I've wiped, there was blood. So I rang up the midwives. I didn't even worry about ringing up my doctor. I just rang up the midwives and I said, I have bleeding. It's not severe. It is just a smear of blood. What should I do? And they said, you need to come in immediately. And I said, okay, well, I have a friend who at the moment has a funeral. I've known these people for a while. Can I go to that and then come in? And she was like, you really should just come in. And I'm like, well, I really have already told her that I'm coming and paying my condolences and I said, look, I won't stay for the service. I will just go give my flowers and card, give my condolences, and then come in. She goes, okay, but make it very quick. So I went down, went down. I went to her and I said to her, you know, I gave her my condolences, gave her the card and flowers. And I said, I'm really sorry, I can't stay for the service. I am bleeding and need to go to the hospital. So off I went, drove myself to the hospital because I didn't think what was wrong was serious. Plus, my sister was working, my friend was working, the father of the baby was busy. So I just drove myself thinking, you know, it's only a smear, it's nothing urgent. So off I went. And so they did a check and they said, oh, something's not quite right. And I said, okay. So they called in a specialist doctor who then gave me an ultrasound. At this stage, this was the next day, I was 26 weeks and 26 weeks and 4 days or 3 days. So this was on the Friday. Yeah, this was on the Friday. So anyway, he did the ultrasound and he sort of had that look of, you know, he was really looking and everything, and he was like, okay. And I sort of said to him, what's the matter? Is something wrong? And he said, I'm just going to double check this. And he repositioned, redid the ultrasound and double checked. And he goes, okay, you're actually 3 centimeters dilated. And I said, what? He goes, yeah, you're 3 centimeters dilated. It's looking like you have to go to King Edward Hospital, which is one of the best hospitals in Australia in this southern hemisphere, which I had no idea of until I had to go there. So anyway, panic mode hit, and I, you know, rang up my sister and I said to her, look, you know, I was in tears, I was frantic. I said, they've, you know, I'm 3 centimeters dilated. From what I can gather, I am going to be having this baby and they are going to ship me off to King Edward. So luckily she had just gotten home from work when I rang her, and she went all frantic. She had to organise her kids. She had to she was letting everyone know. She let the father know. She let my friend know. And she organised the kids and rang up work and told them what was happening. And then she came to the hospital. So I had rang her, I think it was just after 2 p.m, 2:30. So she came up to the hospital, picked up the father. He came up to the hospital as well. And then she sort of said, well, what's going on? And they said, well, you know, your sister's dilated. The baby is breached and we have to send her off. I kept saying shipping. What am I, a postage package? Send me off to King Edward Hospital. So the pain that I think from what I can gather, the pain that I was experiencing was actually possibly the start of contractions. And because I've never been pregnant before, I didn't know that that's what that was. I thought it was a pain from the urine infection. So anyway, they organised to get me off to King Edward. They put me in the ambulance. So from the time I get in the ambulance and, you know, get taken off up to King Edward, I start having contractions. So then one of the nurses, she was absolutely, midwife's apologies. She was beautiful. She's so brilliant. I actually need to figure out how I can give her a thank you card and some flowers because she was so brilliant. So all the way up from my local town all the way through to King Edward, which is in Perth, I had contractions, and it took around 40 minutes, possibly, I think it was. Wasn't really taking notice at the time. I was in pain. About 40 minutes to get there, all the way up. From when I left my local hospital to that hospital, I had contractions, and they were coming about 5 minutes apart, and they were quite intense. So that was about 3:30. About just before 3:30. I think we got to King Edward Hospital at about 4 p.m. And so then my sister and the father drove up and came and seen me and stayed with me. So they put me in this room, and they just monitored me for as long as they could, until any changes of anything else happened. So then, I was in labour and having contractions. Every I think it was like 5 minutes or a bit longer apart, and they were going for like 30 seconds each time. So from about, I don't even remember now. From, when was it? I really can't remember. It was, actually, yes I can. It was, so from 3:30 till about 11 p.m. at night, I had the contractions, and getting closer towards the 11 p.m. time, I was in quite a lot of pain, so I was trying to breathe through them, and they were quite intense. They only go for 30 seconds or so, but they were really intense and hurt. So roughly for about 10 hours, I think it was, I had the contractions, and then I had a doctor come in and say to me, would you like to have the epidural? It now is your window time to take it. It's your option. You don't have to. If you want to, take it. If you don't. And at that point, I was so tired. I was exhausted. I was in quite a lot of pain. And I said, you know what? I want the epidural. I can't do this anymore. I've been doing this from possibly the day before with the pain, not realizing. And I said, I'm just tired. I've had enough. Yes, I want it. So he gave me the epidural, and he just said to me, in between contractions, let me know when you have a contraction. Let me know when it stops, and when you stop, I will give it to you. So that was the most wow experience. Because I'm sort of, crouched over, I suppose you could say, leaning over a pillow. My sister was sitting in front of me. She had her legs together, and then I had to put my feet on her legs, and then crouch over a cushion. But I had to relax. That was the hardest thing ever, trying to relax while they're putting the needle in your back in between having contractions. Yeah, that's not fun. So, I got through it. They put the epidural in. Most weirdest sensation, you feel the stuff going in up the tube, up through your back, and yeah, it's really bizarre. And it felt a bit cold. And he said to me, as he's giving me the needle, he said, you're going to feel like a lightning shooting pain down your leg. That is perfectly normal. And I'm thinking, okay, what's normal about that? But so yeah, sure enough, as he's put the epidural in and the stuff's gone through, I get the shooting pain down my leg, which really was uncomfortable, from my hip down through my leg. So and then trying to have contractions at the same time while that's happening, that was not fun. So anyway, so that was done, and I don't even know. I don't even know how long it took before I couldn't feel the contractions. So from about 11 o'clock at night, had that done, lay back down in bed, and didn't really sleep from 11 p.m. right through till, when I had him. So then all through the night, I had little sleeps here, wake up, bit of a sleep, I call it power nap. Whether it be half hour or less or whatever, 15 minutes or something. And then, sort of wake up. And I remember looking at the screen. There was a screen over in the corner, and I'm looking at the screen and I can see, when I've had the contractions, how far apart they were, how big of the graph of the contraction was. So I remember just laying there watching them going, oh wow, I'm so glad I didn't feel that one. You'd have a really big one, and then you'd have a little ones, and then a big one, and it was like, oh wow, didn't feel that, which is really good. And then you also have like this button that they give you, they put it over your shoulder and they say just grab it and push it. You can only push it every 20 minutes within the hour. I think I pushed it twice throughout the whole time, that I actually felt it must have wearing off, and I felt a few of the contractions again, and I was just like, oh no, push, give me that stuff. It wasn't severe before I had it type of feeling, but you could still, partly feel it. So from 11 p.m. at night until I had him on the Saturday, I actually had him at midday on Saturday, on the 18th of May. I'm sitting in the hospital bed, they're monitoring, I can't even say it. You know what I'm trying to say. Checking on me and all that. To the point where I remember sitting in the bed and the father's, said, oh, look, I'm going to go downstairs, have a smoke, coffee, because he smokes. And I was like, yeah, okay, no worries. I'm fine. Off you go. So I remember sitting there and he'd only just left, not even 5 minutes. And I said to my sister, I don't feel well. Where's the sick bag? I really don't feel good. I'm going to be sick. To which point she grabbed the bag, handed me the bag, but didn't make it in time. And I just chucked. She calls me the exorcist because apparently it just came out. And I don't know why, but I remember when she was in labour and she threw up, the vomit was green. Gross, right? I know. So was mine. I don't know what that is. I don't know. It must be just the vile stuff from your stomach. But yeah, she calls me the exorcist now. She's like, just came, and the poor nurse jumped back and she's like, whoa, you nearly got me. And and then I remember going, oh God. And nurse goes, what's wrong? Something's just happened down below. And she goes, like a lot of gush? And I'm like, yeah, like a lot. And it's not stopping. So then she checked and then she was like, oh boy, okay, your waters have broke. It's time. And then I remember saying to my sister, push the yellow button on the wall now. So my sister just, hit the yellow button. And within not even 5 minutes, all these nurses, doctors, everything, like there was just people coming in. They were doing my arms, they were putting things in my hands, they were putting the prongs up my nose for oxygen, checking my pulse, putting the thing around my arm and checking that. And Casey, what's happening? What's your pain? How's this? Yada yada yada. Then I remember my sister, like the father, not long just gone to go downstairs. She's ringing him up, get back up here now, waters are broke. They're shipping her off again. They're sending her off to the emergency room. So off they go, they take me off, they take me into the operating room. Because my son was early, he was going to be premature. So they said to me, you will have to have a C-section, emergency C-section. And by that time I went, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm too tired to care. Just do what you got to do. So We get in the operating room, and there is like 10 people, and they're all doing something. Like they've got their, they've got something to do. They know what they're going to do, and they just do it. They were so organized. They were so great. And so yeah, they got me hooked up to wires. They got me hooked up to this. They, took my clothes off and put a gown on me. They put the curtain up, from like my chest across up, so I couldn't see anything. And all I remember is saying, "Where's my sister? Where's my sister? I want my sister." And they're saying, "She's coming. It's okay. She's got to scrub up. She's got to put a hat on, put gown on. She has to make sure that she's covered before she can come in." And and because I was just at that stage, I just wanted her. So anyway, she comes in, and I'm okay, and everything's relaxed and good, and I'm happy. I'm tired. I'm really exhausted. So it works out, I'm just going to count from when I went in the ambulance to the time I had my son, as 21 hours of labour in total that I worked it out. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but it could have even been from the day before. But I'm just going to say 21 hours in total. I had 10 hours of labour without epidural, and then I had another 11 hours with epidural in total. So, yeah, and then, so they put more of the stuff of the epidural in, and the numbness to, from my belly down, and then they did like a needle prick in certain parts of the body. Casey, can you feel that? Yes, I can. Can you feel that? Yes, I can. Can you feel that? And then, they give me more dose. Wait, 5 minutes, redo it. Can you feel this? So it took them, I think they gave me 2 doses of the stuff before I couldn't feel anything at all. So then by the time that happened, then yeah, they managed to, cut me open and get my son out. And he was breached. Once my waters had broke, they checked me and I'd become fully dilated. And then that's when they rushed me off. And then they cut me open. So I had emergency C-section. They cut me open. They got him out, and put him on this special like heat lamp table, and rubbed him all down and all that, and rugged him up and everything. And then, my sisters, "Casey, congratulations, you've had a boy. He's beautiful." And, I'm sort of half asleep trying to look over at him, but I was struggling to keep my eyes open. They rushed him off into, what is it, an ICU, and went and dealt with him. Then they, obviously sewed me up and everything, all that stuff that they do. And then they took me off and put me into recovery room, which I think I was in there for like an hour. From what I remember, I don't think I lost a lot of blood. I think maybe it was 500 mils. I don't know if that's correct or not. I could be wrong. It might have been 300 mils. Can't remember. But I didn't lose a lot of blood, so that was good. I remember my sister saying to me, she was looking in this mirror thing up above on the roof, watching what they were doing on the other side of the curtain, and she goes, "All this fluid, just like a bucket full of fluid, just came out of you." She goes, "I've never seen so much fluid in my whole life." She was watching it as they were pulling Josh out. She kind of watched it through this, mirror thing on the roof. And she's like, it was the best experience ever. And she was sitting there, and they said to her, "Would you like to cut the umbilical cord?" And she went, "Huh? So what?" And they go, "Would you like to cut the cord?" And she's like, "That's an option? I can do that? Will you let me?" And they were like, yeah, of course you can. So she's like, she was sitting on this stool seat. She flung that out, got up, and then she's cut the cord. Not meant to have phones in there, but one of the nurses was really great, and took some photos. So that was really awesome. So we've got those photos, which is just awesome because, it's great memories. So then, yeah, they put me in the recovery room. I stayed there until they do what's like called an ice block, because they've got to wait for the epidural to wear off and anesthetic and stuff. So then they do this ice block, and they check in certain parts on your belly, on your hip, down your leg, and they say to you, you know, can you feel this ice block? Tell me if it's you can feel it a lot, you can not feel it, sorry, or you can slightly feel it. So they kept doing that, kept checking until I could say, yep, I can feel it a lot. And what they actually do is they put the block on your cheek and they say to you, this is how it should feel. If it doesn't feel like that, then yeah, let us know. So that's how they did that until the point where I said, yeah, it feels like when it's on my cheek. So then they knew that my feeling was coming back. So once all that was done, then they, you know, and I was recovered. When I came out of the surgery, I was freezing cold. I was shivering so badly, but I actually had a temperature. So I had a really high temperature, but I was freezing. So, and I think that was due to the infection that I had. So, yeah, but that was normal. Then eventually they shipped me off. Shipped me off. I don't know why I kept saying that. Took me off to my room, put me in my room, and then once I got better, I was able to go see my son. I had to be wheelchaired because I wasn't allowed to walk, obviously. So then I went and seen him in NICU, and it was truly amazing. He was, like I said, 26 weeks, 4 days born. He was breech premature, and he was 965 grams for his gestation. So they were really impressed with that, the nurses and doctors, because some babies born at 26 weeks can be quite smaller than that. There's actually been babies that have been born at 26 weeks that are like 450 grams. So I've done really well. Just to give you a quick update, as of, like I said, today, he's 5 weeks old today. Well, actually, not today. It would have been Wednesday, because if you go by the 26 week plus 4. But I do it from Saturday to Saturday. So I do week to week. So for me, it's 5 weeks. That's just how I work it out. He is doing really amazing. He went from what's called a CPAP machine to now what's called a HHF, which is hypertension high flow, if I remember correctly, which is really good. He's been on that for, I think, about 4 weeks now. Is that right? Yeah, I think 4 weeks. Normally when premature babies go on that HHF, they usually sometimes stay on it for about 3 to 4 days, and then they kind of lapse again, and then they have to put them back on the CPAP machine. So the CPAP machine is one that helps breathe for them until they get stronger and better. And then once they do get stronger and better and can maintain breathing for themselves more, then they put them on the HHF. And he's on 4 liters of oxygen now, and he is he's now 1,348 grams. So he's put on a lot of weight since his birth, which is good. And eventually he will be in an open cot. At the moment he's in an incubator, but he's doing really, really great. So I'm really happy and grateful. I've been blessed with a beautiful boy. He is just absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I just absolutely love him. Unfortunately, because he was born early, he can't come home yet until roughly around his due date, which, if he was born on time, would have been the 19th of August, which is the day after my birthday. For those who say firstborn is always late, not my one. He decided to be a May baby instead of an August baby and came early. So I may not get him home until around his due date. So at the moment, I'm just going up, traveling back and forth, going to see him, spending time with him, having skin-on-skin hugs. Absolutely love that. Yeah, talk to him and doing his cares, changing his nappy, taking his temperature, rubbing his body down with coconut oil, changing his little top because he has little leads and wires and stuff. He has a feeding tube which they had in his mouth, which is now in his nose. Eventually he will be able to feed normal. I unfortunately did breast pumping, but because he was born early, my body wasn't able to produce enough milk, so I'm unable to breastfeed him, so which is really broke my heart. I really wanted to, just wasn't able to. So I will be bottle feeding him when the time comes, when he's able to suck on bottles. So yeah, so that is my story. That's what's happened. I now have my son, not at home yet, but everything so far is going really great. Like I said, I've been blessed and he's absolutely beautiful. His father absolutely loves him. So things are just happening. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you a few items because this video is getting quite long. So this was given to me. It's a really cute little beanie hat. Quite big now that I look at it. Now that I look at that, that is huge for his little head. Now most of these clothes, because I had already brought these clothes before I knew I was going to have a prem baby, obviously. So these will be a long while before they're able to fit him. So these two items I brought off AliExpress. So this one says, "Ain't no auntie like the one I got." So it's just a little short sleeve one. I brought that for my sister, obviously, off AliExpress. This next one also is off AliExpress. Now this one I just couldn't resist. I'm cute, mum's hot, dad's lucky. Again, it's one of those stud ones, little short arms. And I think I got these for around, I think the 6-month mark. Okay, so this next one, my sister brought from me. It's a Kmart item set. It's got the little, feet thingies on it. It's got a bib. It's got little booties. And it's got a little hat. Oh, a little hat as well. So this is 3 months. By the time he comes home, he'll be 3 months. Hopefully he'll fit into some of this stuff. Now this one, I love this one. I brought this in at, I think it was Big W. So this is a this is 4 zeros. And it's a Mickey Mouse. It's so cute. Little Mickey Mouse. What do they call these things? I'm not really sure. A romper. That's right. So that is just, I love it. It's gorgeous. All right, so these next ones came from Peter Alexander. These were on special, and I couldn't resist. So this is another little romper, and yeah, from Peter Alexander. So the little doggies with balloons. I thought that was so cute. All right, this next one I got from Kmart, and this one says, "I am super fun." He certainly is super fun. He's got attitude already. He's a strong little man. I call him little man. So this is also a Kmart one. Play all day. And now this one I brought at Big W, and this is for a 3 to 6 month old, but I couldn't resist. Is that not the most cutest little top? You're going to be a funky little man. And the last one is also from Peter Alexandra, which I absolutely love. And it's a doggy romper with a French hat. Absolutely gorgeous. And also next month I am still, apparently according to my sister and a friend, going to have the baby shower as per normal. Because if I had been pregnant, it would be 7 months at the moment, and then we were going to have the baby shower next month. So we're still going to do that. So maybe I will do a video once that's done, which is not until the 21st of July. So it's still a little while, month away, I think. Or maybe today's 22nd, but anyway, of June. So yeah, I might do a video and post up what I got in my baby shower. So I'm going to wrap this video up. It's getting quite long. Thank you for watching. Sorry it's taken me so long. I want to do more videos. I've started ordering online again. Yeah, I will definitely try and do more videos. So yeah, if you have any comments or if you want to leave any questions, do so down below in the comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Yeah, if you have stories of if you're, had something happen like I've had or different or anything like that, let me know. Tell me in the comments. Love to hear your stories. It's amazing how life can change so quickly. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you very much, and I will be doing more. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.